Hey, welcome back to The Dive. Our guest today holds a PhD in economic geology and has over 20 years of diverse mining and exploration experience in precious and base metals. He will deep dive into the overall sentiment towards the mining sector, gold's price, copper, as well as their drill sample results and the company's corporate outlook for 2022. He is the CEO and founder of Riverside Resources, Inc. John-Mark Staude is joining us today. But before we bring you John-Mark's interview, if you could do me a quick favor and just tap that subscribe button below me, please. Hey, John-Mark, welcome back to The Dive.
Cassandra, great to be on the show.
Yeah, it's so nice to see you again. Thanks for coming back on. Okay, so let's start with consumer price inflation in Canada. It surged to 4.8% in December, the highest level since 1991. There's also talk all over social media of housing being out of control, with record low inventory and lots of demand. What do you think of the Bank of Canada's decision not to raise rates last week?
I'm really surprised. The heat of the market is incredible. So many things are going up. I work in the mining sector. I'm talking to people all over. The prices of everything is going up, and we've got to cool it down. And really, I think it's bullish for gold and for other commodities because, my gosh, I can't believe living here in Vancouver, our housing prices are going sky high, and they are having many bids on them. So I was surprised that the Bank of Canada did not raise interest rates.
Okay, so let's talk a little bit more about mining. What impact is Omicron having on the mining sector right now?
It's been a really tough 2 years now of COVID, and now Omicron is so contagious. Luckily, it's not as strong as some of the other variants. And so many of us also luckily have been vaccinated, even had the booster, but it's affecting it. It's affecting the supply chain. And what's going on in so many things, including in Ontario with the protest and other things too. The real issues are how Omicron is affecting overall everything. So it's definitely affecting the mining sector and particularly the supply chains, which are making costs go up, really making it less efficient for our mines, and it really is showing the overall cash flow for the companies having a bigger squeeze as there's bigger demands and higher costs, and yet the price of the metals hasn't gone up as it should have.
Now, a bipartisan piece of legislation in the U.S. was introduced to force defense contractors to stop buying rare earths from China by 2026 and use the Pentagon to create a permanent stockpile of the strategic minerals instead. Where do you think this is going? Are rare earths something that could impact the mining sector?
Most definitely, and I say good luck. Over 90% of the rare earths are coming from China, and China's been able to develop and put the capital to the entire process chain of it. It's not something that you can just go and grab. We have resources in other parts of the world, but it's going to take amazing capital and amazing amount of work. 2026 is not that far away. And so to make these mandates is a wonderful vision, but to really fulfill it, we would have to really push very hard. And I think the Biden administration and overall governments in general are not pushing for mine development right now. They're not pushing for the development of these resources, and we don't have the base to actually do it ourselves. So I think we're going to continue to be dependent upon China for these. I think it's a good direction to go, but I don't think it's realistic to think that we could actually do that much in such a short period of time. Mining takes decades to develop. It's not something that you can do overnight.
Now let's come back to gold for a minute here. Gold has been showing some strength in 2022, reaching 2-month highs and then coming back to the $1,800 level. What do you think needs to happen for it to leg up higher?
It's, as we said earlier, I think the interest rates and all these other fears mean that people think that it's going to happen, but inflation is going on. The value of gold is there. And I think the value overall in that the prices are just not being fit. So I think that 3 catalysts. One is the insecurity of happening in Russia. I think overall the challenges that we're seeing with the other commodities. And the third thing I really think is that the interest rates and overall the banking is actually not paying attention that there's inflation going on, that gold is a good hedge, gold holds its value. And I think those things are really going to make gold to go up. And there's some new discoveries coming along that are really going to unlock value for gold miners. I'm very bullish on gold.
And we know that you also have a background in copper. Copper prices were supported by expectations of further policy easing in China. What do you believe is China's influence on the copper sector?
I really do follow China closely. I worked in China myself, and I do follow copper, and I definitely feel that copper sometimes has a PhD on the economy. It kind of has a real vision of what's happening. The Chinese economy is really kind of struggling. They've had so much overgrowth, so much development in the housing market, the Evergrande, and these other big things that have gone on are quite significant for the copper market. So I've been concerned about what the copper supply might happen, that there may be oversupply from Chinese already having copper in country that maybe would replace the new copper coming on. So it could actually top the copper market. So copper wouldn't go up. I think also we've had so much inflation going on. The economies are actually beginning to pull back a bit. And we're seeing different stocks, including look at Facebook and other things, really cratering right now. I think we're actually feeling a top. And so I'm concerned with copper, different than gold. I really feel that copper has had a good run up and could actually, for a while now, have a struggle. Although we have such an electrification and such a growing demand, I think China, as being such a large consumer of copper, could be getting a little ill. And if China gets ill, I think the rest of the world could get sick. So I am concerned and watch that closely.
Okay, so let's shift to Riverside. The company reported high-grade sample results from the field exploration program at the La Union project in Mexico. Based on the latest findings, how does this impact exploration plans? Could you give us some color on the results?
I'd love to. What we're talking about is these big issues that are happening worldwide. And one of the things is the need for gold and silver. And for these results that Riverside has on a 100% owned project in the state of Sonora, Mexico. Sonora is the best mining state for the country of Mexico. Mexico has been a world leader in mine production for 5 centuries. So for us to come up with a new project in an old district. This is an old mining camp, the Union district, and Riverside has consolidated it. So for us now in 2022, we really see great potential. We're very excited by these high-grade results, ounces of silver, ounces of gold, and that's the type of thing that you can mine and make money. So for us, we really see the value in this project, and overall the company Riverside is poised to really move ahead, and we're delighted to be doing that in 2022.
Awesome. Sounds great. Okay, so let's move on here. The company also published its corporate outlook for 2022. This includes progressing its project generator business model through staking quality prospects, partnerships, finding undervalued acquisitions, advancing some of its main assets, and retaining royalties. What is Riverside's main goal this year, and what hurdles do you expect to face in order to achieve it?
Our main goal is really making value for shareholders. We're very focused. Myself, I've never sold a share, and I'm a big shareholder, buying more myself. So right now, we're just putting out news about the drilling we're doing early this year in Ontario, Canada. In Ontario, Canada, at the Oaks project, we have a large system adjacent to a mine that's being built for over 1.2 billion. Yeah, with a B. $1 billion. They're building a giant mine right next to us. So Riverside sees great potential in our Oaks project. And that's one of the things. The other goal for us is in Mexico. We mentioned the Union project. We also mentioned copper. Riverside has a whole portfolio. So for us, with our prospect generator model in 2022, to get shareholder value, to get the share price up, seeing the value from the discoveries and the projects we have. So we see a whole flow in 2022 of drill results, of partnered results, and particularly alliance. We operate for the world's largest mining company, BHP. And we're their exploration team for Mexico for copper. And with that, we have 5 projects moving ahead. So for us, the goals, drilling, progressing, we definitely see shareholder value in 2022.
Definitely. Well, lots to look forward to. We'll have to have you back on when you get the results and from the drilling.
Thanks, Cassandra. It's great to be on the show today.
Yeah, thank you. See you later, John-Mark. Thanks so much for watching today. We'll be back again tomorrow. But in the meantime, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share.